First, I'd like to congratulate Columbus State. Obviously, they're a very good basketball team and every bit as athletic as what I'd seen on film. Obviously, we hadn't seen them live this year, and 20 got her average, unfortunately, and she's just a go-to type player that when they need a basket, she's somebody that can obviously rise up and get a basket for them. And in quarter 44, their post players, she's really good. She had 15 rebounds, but Jonathan does a really good job, and I think they're every bit as good as their number 3 national ranking. On our side, we had a game plan coming in. As limited as we are, with not having some of our quicker guards. I think our kids fought and they played really hard. We had a game plan to try and slow them down with our zone press, and then to play zone the whole game. I was going to try and stay in that zone as long as I could, and I really think defensively the game plan kind of worked out in our favor. I mean, they go 7 of 33 from the 3. That's what we wanted them doing, was out there shooting. It was just unfortunate we gave up 26 offensive rebounds, and I think if there was a chance that we had to win the basketball game, we had to rebound the basketball a whole lot better than we did, and giving up 26 offensive rebounds. I don't know what that turned out in second chance points, but I'm sure it wasn't very pretty. And then, offensively, we struggled offensively. They're a very good defensive team, one of the best in the country, and we just never got in a flow, except that one run we made there where we cut it to 39, 34, whatever it was, and we were getting some high lows, and Tatum banked a 3 in, and we got a flow there, and then they went on that run to close out the game to get the 18-point victory.
Whitney, if you could take us into that huddle. I think it was the first huddle in the second half. You guys were down by double digits, and then that's when you started your big run to get it to 5. What was the conversation like, and what was the feeling like once you did get it down to 5?
Before, whenever we were down by a lot, the coaches and the players, we all were just kind of saying, keep fighting. The game's not over. We still have a lot of time. We just really got to keep effort and try to rebound the ball. And then that's what we did. We made them miss some shots, and then we got some rebounds, and we came down and just tried to drive it at them and do what we can to come back into the basketball game, because we really didn't want it to be over. And then after that, when the fans get with you, our fans were really hype after that, and it was really exciting.
I think we spoke about it on Sunday, Whitney, that despite everything that you guys have gone through, you guys have still kind of come through at the other end. You're a walking testament to that with your leg and then, of course, your hand. I know it's hard to look back now, but to look back on what you were able to accomplish in your senior year, how proud of you are of your team? I'm
really proud of the girls, especially when we had 2 big ones go down with JJ and Lacey during the season, and they really kept fighting, and they really didn't want the season to end. We went with a couple losses, and we turned it around, and we really just didn't quit. The girls gave everything they had, and I'm really proud of them for that.
After you make your 2 free throws a day, you now have the single-season record for free throw shooting percentage. I know it doesn't mean much to you right now, but to go through the season, to improve the way that you improved as a scorer this season, what does that say about you and the team as a whole?
Coach Mincey always told me that I did a lot for the team, but I really didn't score, and that was something I really needed to pick up this year. And so I try to do what I can for my team and try to do, the scoring. It's hard to be out there and not really score because the team can kind of back off of you. So I really wanted to do what I could, so then it helped the team.
Coach, really, you look at this game as a whole, and you played pretty well against them. It was really just 2 sequences. I think that was that 13-0 run to end the first half, to start the second half, and then obviously that big run there late in the game. What does that say about your team as a whole? You basically had 5 girls out there, too, to cut it down to 5.
Well, it even goes back to the first half, when we got up 11-4, and I think that was, that was something we really wanted to do, was to show that, we're here, and even though we're not as good as we once were, we're still here to compete, and we want to show Columbus State that we're here to play. And I think we did that, but then in turn, they're a very good basketball team, so they answered it back and went on whatever that run they went on to end the half, because we didn't, we only scored 6 more points the rest of the half. But then in the second half, that run, it was 35-19, and then we cut it there to 5. And I really thought at that point, if we could rebound the basketball and continue to score like we did, that we would have a chance to potentially walk out of here with a major upset. Just didn't happen, and that's what. And we talked about it a lot. Why have they won all these games and only lost 1? It's because they offensive rebound, and they typically get stuff out of transition. And teams like that can make those plays late in a basketball game, they're going to win a bunch of games, and that's why they're so good. And when you get 26 offensive rebounds, regardless of how bad you shoot it or how poorly you shoot it, you're typically going to walk out on the winning end, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
From the outsider's perspective, it's impressive what you've been able to do with all the injuries. How does this year set the bar for upcoming classes to make the NCAA tournament and then to make runs once you get into the NCAA tournament?
Well, that's what we just talked about in the locker room. There's, and we haven't been making excuses all year, but there's not many teams, in my opinion, that can lose their starting point guard, who's a junior, and lose their backup point guard, and lose a player at the beginning of the year, in Peacher. And, the list just goes on, and it's just a testament to our roster and the kind of kids we have that once, especially Lacey and JJ went down, because that's who we were winning with. They started the season, played with us, that they stood together and hung together, and we were still able to make the NCAA tournament, as beat up as we were. And we wanted these kids to get to the NCAA tournament because I felt like once they got here and they could taste it, that we're going to try, they'll know now all the stuff that we've been talking about. I think they understand how fun it is and what an experience it is. And so now when we get back to start working in the spring and then certainly next fall when we get to working, they'll know what we're talking about. And, our goal is certainly to contend for our title next year in the SAC and to make it back to the NCAA tournament.
Coach, just one quick question. You said you played zone for all 40 minutes. They really talked about how that really, it seemed to affect them a little bit. Was that the game? What did you see that you thought that the zone would be so effective against Golden State?
Because we don't have two of our quicker guards to guard them, I mean, they're athletic as all get out, and I felt like that the only way we stood a chance really to win was to zone them. And, they've made quite a few threes this year, but it was still at like 31%. So I was like, if we're going to have a chance, we're going to try and have to keep it out of the paint, have to keep Mitchell away from the basket as best as possible, and hopefully they miss. And then in turn we have to rebound. And unfortunately, we didn't rebound well enough to keep the game closer down the stretch. And one thing I thought our kids did a really good job is I know Columbus usually gets a lot of transition baskets, and they go on runs, 6, 8, 10-point runs because of their offensive transition. And I thought our kids did a pretty good job of getting back and not giving Columbus State a lot of those easy transition baskets. A lot of their stuff, I believe, just happened to be second chance points, and that's unfortunate for us.
All right. Well, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.